As you see here, it comes in this convenient storage and carrying case, which features a handle on the top side. Open it up and you'll see your air hose extension with all the different adapters that you may need for inflating things such as balls. You'll see here we have the needle fitting. That would be used for such items as basketball, volleyball, any sort of low pressure inflatable ball, and it would just clasp onto the universal end here. If you're just airing up a car tire or something, you don't need any attachment. You'll just hook the clasp directly to the tire's valve stem, as you'll see later on. Store your attachments via the lanyard attached to the hose. You'll also have a thank you card, which doubles as your operating instructions. Easy to read, featuring color. Gives you more information and more specs that you may want to know about this unit, as well as some troubleshooting if you need it. Lastly, we have the USB to USB-C cord. Now this can be used two different ways actually. The USB-C end is going to plug into the F85 to charge it, and you'll plug the other end into a wall charging brick, which you will need to provide on your own, or you can plug it into your computer desktop at home to charge it as well. But while you're out on the road, you could use this same cord if you're in a pinch to charge other devices that are USB-C powered, because the output port on this unit is normal USB. So you can flip the cord around, plug the USB end into the F85, and you can then charge anything that is USB-C, say your phone, tablet, or laptop. If you need any additional cords, think about it in advance and you can fold them up and tuck them into the carrying case with the F85. On the back here, you'll see just a few more basic specifications. We'll hold the power button down here on the front to power up the unit. And as you'll see, there's a nice, big, bright, easy to read color display. The frame rate of the camera is kind of matching the screen on the unit, so don't mind that flickering. That is normal. It does not happen in person. You're just seeing it on video. You may also notice that the red switch is in the on position. This is a safety feature so that it doesn't power up by itself if it's bumped in the traveling case. You'll notice that even when I hold the big silver power up button and the red power button is in the on position, it still does not power up. As a safety precaution, you'll have to flip the red switch off and then back on. That way the unit knows that you intentionally want to turn it on, as demonstrated here. Now to select what mode you want, you'll push the M button next to the main power button. You'll tap the M button twice, change the mode. As you see at the bottom left, it shows kind of like an airplane that it's free mode. We'll double tap here and it goes to car. You see the car icon flickered there for a couple seconds. If the icon is still flashing, you can change to the next mode by tapping the mode button just once. If the icon stops blinking, you must hit the mode button twice again to change it. So we'll tap the mode button twice again, now that it has quit blinking, and we'll switch to pedal bike. Double tap again to basketball. Each mode has different parameters. For example, the ball mode goes from 4 to 16 psi. If you want anything above or below that, you'll have to pick a different mode. So if you want to just be quick about it, make it easy, and just pick whatever pressure you want and go, I typically keep it on free mode. As mentioned before, you'll use the USB-C here in the input port to charge this unit, and the normal USB port is the output port to charge or power other devices. To operate the built-in LED light, you'll just tap the light button under the mode button right next to the main power button, and it will turn on the normal flashlight mode. If you want to change modes, tap the light button again, and it'll switch to strobe. Tap it again, and it'll switch to SOS. And a final tap will turn it off. The plus and minus buttons are, of course, to choose the pressure that you want when you're inflating something, and we will hold the main big power button down to power the device off. There's also rubber pads on the bottom of the F85 to help keep the device from walking away from you when it's vibrating and in use on the ground. So now let's go ahead and try this out on a few tires. We're going to start by inflating my four-wheeler tire here. We're going to take the supplied extension hose with the attachments and just thread it onto the end of the F85 hose that's already connected to it. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. There's a rubber O-ring in there that just seals it. Make sure you just screw it on tight by hand. You don't need to use pliers or anything. We'll power up the F85, push the end coupler onto the valve stem. Make sure you get on there all the way. You want to wiggle and push and make sure you're getting a nice straight shot, and then clamp it down. We'll select our pressure here. We're going to go for 8 psi, and we're going from 0. All right, there you go. Quick and easy. Undo the clasp and disconnect it from the valve stem, then put the valve stem cap back on. Unscrew the extension hose. If you're using the compressor for a prolonged period of time, make sure you're careful when grabbing the metal ends to unscrew them from each other, as they can get warm if you're using the compressor for prolonged periods. Now let's go out and try this car tire. This time we're going from 10 to 33 psi, and of course it holds more air than the ATV. Once again, the unit automatically shuts off. We disconnect and move on. Now we're going to do a big pickup truck tire. Same procedure, starting at 18 psi and going all the way up to 50. Note that all these tests were performed consecutively without any break from use, and the unit was still 3/4 charged when done, so the battery usage is fairly good. To store the hose, you'll do the opposite of removal. You'll just tuck it into the channel here. It just fits right in there and stays secured, which is nice. Make sure to hold the main power button down to power off the unit. Then go ahead, reinstall it into the carrying case with the little foam isolators, one on top, one on bottom. And then properly reinstall the top foam isolator with the cutouts to prevent the power button and power switch from being hit while in the case. Make sure to put your instruction book as well as the charging cord and air chuck attachment hose back into the storage net, and then zip it up for storage. Here's a clip now. This is actually 3 weeks later. I've had this in my Jeep for that amount of time. It's been averaging 15 to 40 degrees depending on daytime or nighttime. We're going to turn the compressor on and see what happens just to see how it stored the battery. Alright, as you can see there, still full on battery. After I let the pump run for a little bit, it didn't cut out due to temperature or anything, so it holds battery charge pretty good. I like to keep mine here in my little road box, along with gloves, blankets, tow hitches, anything like that. You can even fit it under the seat in a lot of cases, depending on the application, so this doesn't take up a whole lot of room to store.
JFEGWO, keep energized.